There has been the first faint sign of hope during peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Around a table in Turkey, Russia announced it will reduce military operations near two cities, including the capital. A move it claims is designed to build trust, but understandably that is in short supply.
A Russian missile flies through the air over the port city of Mykolaiv before a plume of smoke. A strike on a government office in the southern city killed 12 and injured 20. Some were pulled from the rubble alive. The building left with a gaping hole, just as peace talks began in Istanbul.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
A hopeful tone after claims Ukrainian negotiators were poisoned.
Mümkün hale getirecek.
Hosting the summit, Turkish President Erdogan called on both sides to stop the tragedy. In the room, Roman Abramovich recovered from his own alleged poisoning. The role of the billionaire Chelsea Football Club owner unclear, with reports his close ties to Vladimir Putin and connections in the West have made him a go-between. Russia called the talks constructive before announcing it will fundamentally cut back military activity in the direction of Kyiv and Chernihiv to increase mutual trust. But trust has been obliterated.
No one should be fooled by Russia's announcements. We believe any movement of forces from around Kyiv is a redeployment and not a withdrawal.
While Russia today boasted it's battered Ukraine's military capacity, soldiers on the front line here don't feel it. Trenches have been dug to defend Kyiv, and Julia is ready to fight.
A lot of other women have left Ukraine, or they've gone to other parts of Ukraine, but you've chosen to stay. Despite all of that.
They protect their children. I don't have children, that's why I'm here.
Usually a social media manager, along with Victoria, a vet, they've been called up as battlefield paramedics.
The Ukrainians obviously don't want us to say exactly where these trenches are, but I can say they are very close to suburban homes. This is the sort of warfare seen a century ago. It's made a return in 2022. How long are you prepared to stay here for?
Till the victory.
Which could be creeping closer. In Kyiv, Ukraine, Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
For the first time since peace talks began, there are signs of progress, with Russia and Ukraine both making concessions after a meeting in Turkey. By some, it's seen as a major breakthrough. But skeptics say this is merely for show, with Russia agreeing to scale back operations in areas where its troops are no longer gaining ground.
3 hours of talks for which there were no high expectations, but there were ideas for a path to peace. Russia says it will drastically reduce its military footprint around the capital Kyiv and Chernihiv near the Russian border. But these are areas where Russia isn't making all that much headway after more than a month of war. It's even lost ground to Ukrainian counterattacks in the towns and suburbs around Kyiv. There is an enormous level of Ukrainian distrust of the enemy.
We'll see. I don't read anything into it until I see what their actions are. We'll see if they follow through on what they're suggesting.
Analysts believe drawing down on its forces in the north will give Russia extra firepower and troops to seize more Ukrainian territory in the south and the disputed Donbass region in the east. While Moscow says it will scale back some of its military activities, it makes no mention of its use of cruise missiles, which it's using to target cities across Ukraine, in particular oil storage facilities in those cities. Ukraine says those targeted attacks are aimed at making it harder to respond to the country's humanitarian crisis. Russia isn't letting up its constant bombardment of other cities. 7 people were killed in this rocket attack on a government building in Mykolaiv. Another 22 were injured. In Ukraine, Jeff Parry, 7 News.